I began the day as an average employee of a Fortune 500 company in the Upper East Side of Manhattan. By 6 p.m., I was wandering Times Square, bathed in my own shit with no way to get across the Hudson River to my home in Jersey. Let's go back to the beginning. I wasn't feeling all that well, but went to work anyway that morning. I almost made it through the day. As I was finishing up, my stomach started to churn, and I headed for the restroom. I made it into a stall, faded to black. Next thing I know, I woke up on my knees, my head against the inside wall of the stall, feeling like I'd slept for hours. It was probably only about 30 seconds since I passed out. After briefly passing out a second time, I stood up to assess my situation. Sweat was pouring off my forehead, and there was a puddle of shit forming on the floor. I knew right away that the poop had run down my leg into my sock and shoe and out onto the floor. Panic. I had no friends or relatives in the city. How the hell was I going to get out of this? I took off my befouled pants and underwear and hung them up on the hook. It was at this point that I realized how truly putrid it all smelled. And people were coming and going from the bathroom outside my stall. I'm sure they were horrified by the smell. First, I tried to clean up the pool of brown liquid from the floor. The toilet paper dispenser would only release a few sheets at a time. It took me at least 10 minutes. Then I tried to rinse out my underwear in the toilet. God only knows what horrifying stew of bacteria I was putting my hands into. I couldn't get them clean, so I threw them in the trash. I wiped down my pants as best I could, waited till the bathroom was empty, washed my hands, and headed out of the bathroom. I was still leaving little drops of poop on the floor all the way to the elevator. The elevator. Oh my God. I couldn't get in an enclosed space with other people. I asked a security guard if I could take the steps because I spilled something on my clothes and smelled bad. He could immediately smell that I had shit myself. He told everyone waiting for elevators to step aside and let me take one down, alone. I felt a touch of relief to be out of the building, but the relief was short-lived. I had to take the subway to the Port Authority. Everyone could smell my stench and quickly moved away from me. I got off the subway at Times Square and realized I would never be able to get on a bus with my horrifying stench. My first thought was, go to the drugstore and buy some Febreze and bathe in it. But as soon as I walked into the store, I heard, "Oh my God, what is that smell?" really loud, from an alarmed woman. I quickly made my exit without the Febreze. Next, I thought, I have to buy a new pair of pants. Problem, I wear large sizes that aren't easily found. The best I could do was a pair of Nymet's swimming trunks. I went into a public restroom, took off my pants, then realized that my legs still were covered in poop wetness. Again, I used the toilet to bathe my legs, but I couldn't get the stink off. Oh, and the swim trunks didn't fit. Next thought, I would offer a cabbie $100 to drive me through the Lincoln Tunnel. I flagged one down and explained that I had an accident and would pay him $100 to drive me the mile or two to Jersey. He quickly rolled up his window and sped away. My brother-in-law lived in Jersey. I called him. No answer. I sat on the steps outside the Port Authority to plot my next move. Try to get a shower at a homeless shelter. Buy a room for the night at a dive hotel. I thought about going to a laundromat and washing my pants. But what would I cover myself with? And my legs would still stink, even in clean clothes. I asked the laundromat manager if they could sell me some pants that maybe someone left behind. No dice. Should I call the cops? Kill myself? Wait till morning and what? I called my brother who lives 3 hours away in Philly. He came and picked me up, put towels on his passenger seat, and drove me home. I put my clothes in a trash bag, including my leather shoes. The stink would never come out, and took a long, hot shower. Worst day of my life.